The developers will see the return on their investment. None of them may make the type of profits they were expecting to, but none of them will go bust as a result. The banks will then be sold to foreign banks, and intermediaries like the McNally Carver Consortium will make loads of money, and the taxpayer will get all of the risk and none of the payback. None of it.
But even on a more general note, just the government in general, what do you think at the moment?
Well, clearly there's a lot of disappointment in the government, and during the good times money was obviously squandered. Now during the tough times they're really hitting the middle. Those people who are happy out there working on regular wage, and they're the people that are really affected by the upcoming tax budget changes.
Today is expressing the anger that is felt by the overwhelming majority of people in this country at the sickening attempt to make ordinary working people, pensioners, young people, the vulnerable, the least well off in our society, pay for the criminal greed of a tiny elite of bankers, of developers and speculators and the politicians who facilitate them every step of the way. Now, I think we know that the vast majority of people, they may not be out here today, but their hearts are with us. Yes. And what we have to understand is the need to mobilise that sentiment over the coming weeks. This protest is only the beginning. Yes. A people's movement can change this situation, and the stakes are very high. As Dave has already said, and as Emmanuel has already said, not only will we pay for this with savage cutbacks, with more job losses, with greater inequality, but our children and our grandchildren will pay for this if this deal goes through and the rest of the package of Board SNP and the Taxation Commission gets passed. So we have maybe a month, or as some people are saying, maybe 100 days, that these various packages will be pushed through. And this 100 days will decide the future direction of this country. And it will decide whether the majority of hard-working people, the ones whose sweat and hard work made the so-called Celtic Tiger, whether we will be the ones who will have the future of this country, or whether we will suffer pain and unemployment and poverty in order to further enrich the elites that got us into this economic mess in the first place. And let me just say, when they say there are no alternatives, what a lie. All we are saying is this: we all know we need a banking system. But if it is the public money that is going to have to bail out the banking system, then we should own that banking system. We should decide who they lend money to, what projects they invest in. And I think there is no doubt that a banking system that was controlled by the public would have as its first priority the protection of jobs, the creation of jobs, the protection of the vital public services that we need, and investment in projects that will genuinely assist the economic recovery of this country, rather than putting those billions into the hands of greedy elites who care nothing about nothing but profit, and who will most likely hoard that money or speculate it or gamble it elsewhere and again. That's what we're saying. If we're bailing this banking system out, we want to control that system and what its priorities are. It's a simple question of democracy and justice.
Who owns this fucking country? We do! And that is the end of it. And don't let anybody ever tell you any different.